Hey guys, I hope you are doing well. I am recording on my laptop. Oh my gosh, it's so funny how the spirit's working. The fact that I'm recording this, guys, this video, this energy update, literally during the midst of the Scorpio lunar eclipse, and spirit's like, you have to channel this now. I'm like, okay, yeah, but we have a problem. And they're like, yeah, just make it work. So we're here. So I hope my sound's good. I connected it. Let me know, guys, down below with the thumbs up if this sounds good. By the title, you now know that in this video, I'm going to be talking about what you need to know about this Taurus new moon that is happening on May 19th, 2023, how it will affect you 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after. If you don't know, it is like a moon week for every season, and this is why it's so important to know these energies so then we can take advantage of the fact that we have the moon supporting us every single month, which is amazing. And we love that. We love that. I will also be going over any plants that I feel are great, any rituals that are great. And if you are interested in working with the moon and you have not got yourself a lunar planner, please do yourself a favor, honey, and get one down below. I have a lunar planner. It's a 12-month planner for you guys. It actually goes through a whole eclipse survival kit. And I actually give you guys too, after the eclipse, what to do. Because it's like, okay, we've gone through this energy. We're still in retrograde. Now what, Shika? You're just going to leave me here? No, I'm not. There's the Lunar Planner. So get it. It's only $22 and it has shadow work prompts, rituals. It talks about the energy updates. It goes through mantras. Like, it is a savior. You guys can even check out all the reviews that are on the Etsy. And if you have got one and you like it, leave a review. It really helps the shop and lets other people know as well. So do that. And before we get into this video, please make sure you you're here, you like it, you subscribe, you put notification bells so you do not miss a video. I do these moon energy updates, collective updates every single month. If you're interested in medicine, shadow work, manifestation, healing, community, vibes, these vibes, subscribe, okay? This is the vibe. Subscribe. And the other thing I want to share with you guys is one, my retreats are closing soon. So the first one is the goddess retreat that's happening in Portugal. Honey, we're going with Portugal. The goddess codes for the activated goddess retreat. It's happening and it starts on August 14th. And it's a beautiful medicine retreat. So if you're curious about plant medicine, you've been wanting to do a sacred medicine ceremony, this is a great place to do that. And it's going to be really encompassing sisterhood. It's going to be encompassing deep shadow work and healing. If you're a person who likes to be in control a lot, you don't feel connected to your feminine, you have shame about being a woman, you have the identity of just being a mother and you feel like you've lost yourself, or you're going through identity shifts, like whatever it is, you've gone through any boundary issues or trauma, or feeling like you don't have control of yourself or being, this is for you to embody your truest essence. If you have a problem with receiving pleasure, or you aren't able to access pleasure, disconnected to your sacral, your hara, your womb, ding, 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 this is for you. So apply down below, fill out the form. I'm closing it this May. Spots are filling up. There's only a few more spots, guys. Like, so many of you guys applied, so do it now. Lastly is my ancestral retreat, Untold Stories, is happening in November. If you're wanting to connect with your ancestors, wanting to heal the patterns of your ancestors, the coding of your ancestors, for you, all those before you and all those after, this is a great space. All my retreats are very intimate and they're all revolving around medicine. So if that is something that you're interested in or curious about, this is for y'all, okay? This is for you. And add yourself to the email list. Last thing, there are big announcements coming up, like huge announcements. If you've been wanting to work with me and if you love community, just add yourself. Please do that ASAP. And if you are on it, you're good, because you're probably going to get an announcement this month. Okay, let's get into this Taurus new moon, first video in the new house. For those of you who don't know, I just moved to a new home. And my house is in boxes, but we're here. We're still doing the thing, but this is the reality. So yeah, let's get into all the things with me. Let me just make sure I got my notes for you guys. It's on my laptop. Okay. And also, I got a new deck, guys, and I'm going to share it with you guys here. It's called Earth Warrior. Super excited. Can't wait for when my camera's charged and going so you guys can see it even more beautifully, but we're here because I need this message out to you ASAP. So, what to know about this Taurus new moon on May 19th, 2023, 3 days before, the day of, 3 days after, is that there is no longer anyone else to blame. Okay? You have to accept that you can't blame anyone, and we don't have time to be in a victimhood during this Taurus new moon. For those of you who don't know, new moons are all about new beginnings, new patterns, new habits. May I remind you, who am I kidding? We already know. We just had eclipse season. It was crazy. Any Scorpio placements, if you had Scorpio places, I'm a Scorpion like I have like a whole bunch of Scorpio in my chart. So I went through it. I'm currently, while you guys are watching this, I'm probably integrating my ceremonies. So one of the biggest things about this time is eclipse just happened in Scorpio. It was about shedding. It was about death. It was about cord cutting. It was about all the people coming from the woodworks that you haven't talked to, or you had a bad ending relationship with, like them being in your field and you being annoyed and being like, why are they all messaging me? Now it's like the aftermath. It's the void. Okay. And at this point, that means that we have nothing else to latch on. And the Taurus new moon is giving us permission to understand that we can now have the spaciousness. We can now have this space to feel safe, because maybe for some of you, because of those relationships that you cord cutted and your energy was subconsciously seeping into those spaces, that you never really felt fully safe. Right? There was always like a what if, there was always like a, oh my gosh, this person was affecting you without you even knowing. And Taurus new moon's about like, okay, honey, like this is like adult energy. This is like some Saturn energy. Any of you in your Saturn return in Pisces, this is extra important for you. So it's all about understanding that you have no one else to blame. Okay? Victimhood's all about blaming. It's about feeling like life is against me, universe is against me, I don't feel supported, I feel overwhelmed, I feel confused. Like that was kind of the energy of eclipse. But now it's like, where are we? We're in no man's land. But the beautiful thing about that void is that we have all this space to create. So give yourself permission to now not look for something else to blame, not look for something else to work on, not look for something else to heal. Like at the end of the day, guys, you're constantly going to be healing. We have absolutely like lifetimes. I'm going to pull a card because Spirit just like, pull a card, Chica, you're talking. We have lifetimes to heal everything that our soul has received in messages every lifetime, right? Not just this lifetime, but every lifetime that has made you who you are today. So again, don't blame yourself for, oh, I should have done it this way, and I should have not dated that person, and I should have said this, and I should have done that. Like, it's not about that. It's about being flexible. The card flexible with the cosmos. So this is like, be flexible with your fates. This is huge with Taurus here in New Moon. It's about creating new habits, new rituals, new beginnings with the fates and the cards that you've gotten. And that requires you to be flexible. Be flexible with yourself. Ooh, I just felt that in my back. Ever since I started talking about this with you guys, I felt a big like punch. Ooh, it happened again in my back. So again, this is telling me some of y'all have been backstabbed. Some of y'all, you have been backstabbed, and it's making you angry, and you're being angry for no reason because you cut and court them. So resentment, especially Scorpios, you like to hold resentment. Taurus New Moon's giving you permission to let that go and now be like, okay, it's done. Like, it's done. No more fighting, you know? It's like the fight is over. Taurus is giving that, we're breathing, we're okay. Now we can start to make some new beginnings. The other two cards you guys got, you got 3. So if any of you guys are seeing number 3, this message is specifically for you. To the sea. So now, like I said, going with the flexible, it's like we're going with the fates. Maybe you're a water sign as well. This is very big for you. So it's like going with the flow of the water and just really allowing yourself to be okay with this peace that this Taurus New Moon, I'm going to go more into this, is claiming us for us to have. Happiness. Giving yourself permission to be happy, not blaming other people for your happiness. At the end of the day, we each have free will. So Taurus New Moon is about, how do you set some new intentions to make some like happiness in your life, okay? Instead of focusing so much on the perfectionism and the nitpicking and the why am I don't have this and why don't I do that and why don't I blah, blah, blah. Focus on what you do have. When Spirit gives you lemons, we make lemonade, honey. We don't ask ourselves, Spirit, why aren't you giving me strawberries? Okay, there's only lemons. Like, we're giving you that because that's what's in season right now. But when the strawberries come, you're going to be like, yes. And you won't even expect it. Right? So no longer like having this blaming. And we're just letting that go during this Taurus new moon and asking ourselves, now that we're not putting energy on blaming, where can we go next? Okay. The next thing you need to know about this Taurus new moon, May 19th, 2023, the 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is safety will be claimed while you claim space. So how do we claim safetiness? I want to go into this because I never really talked about this in my last videos, and I'm going to give the ancestor cards a little whoop. Let's get some on this safetiness and boundaries. How do you claim safetiness? I just said it. Slipped it out. Boundaries. Okay. This is so interesting because I just got back from Bali, for you guys who don't know. If you haven't been following me over new, hello, hi, I'm a medicine woman. If I didn't share that, I didn't even introduce myself. How rude. Hi, I'm a medicine woman. But it's really interesting because I find that a lot of us want people to respect us and to honor us and to honor our space, and specifically family, because if there is any relationship that will teach you anything about your spiritual journey, it's your family, okay? The friends, the boyfriends, all those things, the partners, like those people were here, like they weren't there when this whole trauma and stuff was happening. They came after, right? So it's like we need to go back to the root. It's so interesting because even like when I was doing my initiation for a month in Bali, I remember one of my teacher's teacher, who I did a ceremony with, went back to literally age 7. And she's like, you're still holding this. And I was like, but I did all this work. And my human wants to complain. The ego wants to complain and think it's better. And it's like this, again, blaming. You're blaming yourself once again and not creating safetiness. And this is a big channel message that I'm going to say right now. Every time you do not respect a boundary, every time that you ignore that intuition, that being, you are now deserting your inner child. You are re-traumatizing that part of you. So I want you to remember, every single time you don't say a full no, a full yes, whatever it is, you are now you are choosing to create that unsafetiness in your being. And sometimes it's subconscious. We're not even aware of it. Sometimes even for myself, I'm like, I didn't even know I did that to myself. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And we just bring some soothing, loving energy here. And we bring that safety back here. We're like, it's okay. Like, we hold ourselves. We just breathe that in. Okay. So the biggest thing is to claim safety in your space during this Taurus new moon and to create some new habits of safetiness after going through this huge eclipse, which I don't blame you. Yeah. And retrograde as well. We just finished retrograde as well. Literally at the end of 3 days before, as the retrogrades cleared, and now we're in this space. So now you can ask yourself, what are the boundaries you want to create? And that means conversation. So for a lot of you in Taurus new moon, after the Taurus new moon, this is a time for you to set and write down and journal. You can even write this down. Journal, who are the people I need to talk to? Because during eclipse, I cord cut them. And if they are still like, if I still feel like I need that, like I don't need, but I feel that I want that space to voice my opinion, and you have no expectation. This is very important. There's no expectation of a response from that person. And no matter how that person responds, you can still come from a space of love and be like, okay, that's your opinion. That's okay. Then you are from a heart space. And then I really suggest you voicing that if that feels good. But obviously the first thing I would suggest is do it energetically. You know, you did the cord cutting during the eclipse season. You did all those things. So it's like, if you still feel like that conversation intuitively needs to be done with a family member, a friend, or someone in your circle because they're not respecting your boundaries, maybe their human is subconsciously not respecting it, then you vocalize it. And I really highly suggest you reading the book Nonviolent Communication. It's an amazing place to start on boundaries. I always suggest it for a lot of my clients and to you guys. So to really claim that. So in order to claim space, you need to claim your boundaries. You need to break the barriers of where you think that you have to be here. because you are imprisoning yourself to your reality. No one is. And this is huge when people say, well, my family does this and this person makes me uncomfortable. Da, 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 da. When you say those words, you are now imprisoning yourself. It's not them. They're being who they are. But it's like we have the choice and the power. And this is all about power too. Like tuning and tapping into our power, safety in our power, safety in our voice, safety in our words. When we can anchor that in, it just allows us to really step into these two cards. Higher Forces, which is the Shaman card. Animal Guardian, trust your instincts. Okay? So what this is saying is like trust your instincts of what you need to have, like what conversations you need to have after this Taurus new moon, and just like writing and journaling that out to see where you can come to a very centered, neutral space. And then also trust the higher forces to support you. Maybe you might not even need that conversation. Maybe it's just a matter of you closing your eyes, envisioning the person in front of you, their soul in front of you, and having a vocal conversation. And that allows the anger to be gone. That allows the unsafetyness of your root to be dissolved. Okay? The next thing you need to know about this Taurus new moon on May 19th, 2023, 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after, is there anything you have been doing more lately? So Taurus new moon is really bringing us this like kind of perspective, this macro perspective of where are we avoiding the biggest thing that I like to talk about. And it's understanding that where are you working more? So during the Taurus new moon, for those of you who are avoiding emotionally the energy of this new moon, you might find yourself overworking around this time, 3 days before the day of, 3 days after. You may find yourself maybe materialization. So you might end up going shopping spree because you're having a bad day, or maybe having a glass of wine after work, or whatever may have you. Like, be mindful of your actions. What do you do when you get triggered? When you feel unsafe, what do you do? Because that's not actually helping you feel safer, right? It's like when people go to the spa because they're like, oh yeah, I need to relax. Is it actually going to help you relax because you're telling yourself that this materialistic experience is going to make you relax, but then you go home and 2 days later you still feel exhausted, stressed, and anxious? Maybe that's not what you need. So it's all about having a conversation and seeing like, am I doing things to bypass the process that I need to just really sit in stillness and be in peace, right? Am I chasing after peace or avoiding peace by working too hard and doing? And that is masculine. Taurus energy is all about, they like to be pampered. They like to be taken care of. When I think of Taurus, I think of feminine energy, right? And if this is resonating with you, please apply to my retreat, the Activated Goddess Retreat, because we're going to go so deeply into voice. We're going to go so deeply into if you're going outside of yourself to solve problems, because it's all about empowering you. You go to this retreat, you're doing the work. I'm just holding you down. I'm just witnessing you. I'm just giving you the tools. Oh, you need a ranch? Here's a ranch. Like, that's all. But if this is something that resonates with you, please do that. This is going to be the most life-changing thing you ever do in your life. And I don't say that lightly. So apply. So you may not be voicing your needs to yourself. This is the biggest thing that's happening with this Taurus new moon. Ask yourself, how can I voice my needs? One of my favorite tools, and I would suggest with you guys, one of my favorite secrets, I'm going to share this with you, is that whenever I feel like I'm not safe, or I feel triggered when I'm going out for a walk or something happens, the first thing I do is I start to talk to myself like a kid, internally, or just like whisper to myself. And I just like hold myself. It could be like this. It could be like this. And what I say is I like, okay, what do you need right now? I need to breathe. Because the first thing you do when you feel unsafe is your breath changes. Most people hold their breath gets shorter. So we take a breath through the nose because that is the parasympathetic. It relaxes you. And you just go, I'm safe. You're okay. Okay, you are safe. You are safe to be in your voice. You are safe to be in stillness. You don't have to get all the things done in the world. And if you don't get them done, you have time. It's okay. You won't be punished. all those things are things that maybe your inner child needed to hear, your teen self needed to hear, your college self needed to hear, wherever that started in your life, that allows you to bring safetyness and nourishment. So Taurus New Moon is all about nourishing. Okay, it's not about what are you doing, it's like what are you needing right now? What are you needing right now on your path to just fill the cup? How can I fill my cup right now during this new moon? And how can I set those intentions for this month? And again, get yourself a lunar planner because we go over all this stuff in deeper. The next little shadow work prompt that I downloaded and wrote down, I'm going to actually pull out my new deck while I'm talking to you guys, is how would it be, or how would it feel like to have peace for your soul? So this is a question I think a lot of people don't really talk about. They're like, what is it to be peaceful? What is it to be balanced? What is it to do this? Like, a lot of people talk about that in the spiritual world. But it's like, how would it be, or what would it feel like for my soul to be at peace? Right? And I don't want to sound morbid, but this is what's coming up for me, and Spirit's telling me to share this, so I'm going to do it. And it's this beauty of like, if I can take you back to the last meditation I did with you guys, I believe it was the last one. And what I brought you guys to journey with me was, I told you guys, imagine yourself when you were older. What would that look like? What would that feel like? How would that be when you're older? And I think the biggest thing that came up through that experience was that a lot of you guys, like what I felt was like you felt at peace, you felt lightness. And if you were on your deathbed right now and you were probably like 90 or maybe 100 or whatever age that comes in from your higher self, and you're laying there and you had your last few breaths, right? And those last few breaths is like the peace that you want, the last breaths of peace that your human wants in this plane. And we don't have to wait for death to experience that, right? If we see that in a peaceful way. So it's like, if your soul, if your older self were to say what you need to do for your life, for you to live by, to find peacefulness in every chaotic rebirth, in every death that you experience, in every heartbreak, how can you find peace and devote your soul to peace through every emotion this human body has to experience? This is what this Taurus New Moon's about. It's about finding safetyness and peace through every emotion. For some of you guys, you're going to be emotional. For some of you guys, you're going to feel great. For some of you, like, it's going to be different for everyone. And I wish I can say, I know exactly what you're going to feel. But, I don't know you. I know you only so much. Of course, like, we are best friends and stuff, but I don't, like, you know yourself more than anyone. So I think that's the biggest thing that's coming up through this deep, deep medicine that I'm seeing for this Taurus New Moon is like, what would that feel like? What would that look like to be living and breathing peacefulness in your soul? And just holding that, anchoring that. How can I start to drive the car after the test? So the eclipse season was the test, guys. Eclipse was like the final test of your soul. It was like, okay, you said you wanted all these things. You said you wanted to manifest this. You said you wanted to help people, be of service. You said you wanted to have the love of your life. You said you wanted kids. You said you wanted to move halfway across the world, whatever it is. Whatever you manifested, whatever that big thing is that you prayed for and put at your altar and put all the intentions and everything. Now it's like, okay, we did the test in eclipse season in retrograde where you had to be in stillness and really trust and have faith, like we talked about with the flexible card. But now it's like driving the car. And I see this all the time, especially with my retreats and the people I hold space for, is I'm like, okay, we're doing the test. Like, I'm doing instructor, like supporting you, and I'm just watching you during the test and you're just driving, and Spirit's giving you the results. I'm just operating, just being there, witnessing. But at the same time, the driving the car, it's like when you go in the car and you drive on your own, that's when you start to know, okay, can I actually drive the car? Right? It's when Chica's not in the car with you, when spirit's not in the car with you, when you're in the car on your own. So here it's like, how can you focus on integrating the eclipse season during the Taurus New Moon? Integrating the losses and grief that you had with the relationships you had to cord cut. Integrating the big revelations and healing that you got that has advanced your soul. A lot of us during eclipse season, I believe it was the week before the lunar eclipse all the way till 3 days after, so many people were not sleeping well. Let me know down below if you're resonating with this. You weren't sleeping well, major headaches. Your sleep pattern has been horrible. Your food pattern has been horrible. It was like our body was like, because there was a collective increase in the frequency of the whole world. Like every single dimension, and in the earth dimensions and beyond, there was an increase of expansion that happened. And it was so much that a lot of us that have been doing the work, you felt it. Like, it doesn't matter if you haven't or haven't, we all felt it. So this is a time, again, of nourishing that, but also being like, okay, now that I passed the test of the eclipse season, what have I unlocked? How can I integrate what I've unlocked? How can I integrate what I have shed? How can I integrate the spring cleaning I've done in my physical reality, energetic reality, spiritual reality, emotional reality, where I am right now? So the biggest thing I'm going to give to you for you to do for this Taurus New Moon 3 days before the day of and 3 days after is integration. Integration means when your human and your soul come in one. So you did all this soul work during eclipse season and retrograde, but now it's like you guys are starting to see in the 3D world the results. So the next 6 months, you're going to see all the results happening, and Taurus is giving you a little sprinkle of that. They might even confirm with a little reward. Just say, oh, by the way, we just wanted to let you know. Here's the report. Okay, I'm going to pull a card because I've been doing this for a while. This card, guys, has been going every single day collectively. So, Kin of the Red Tail Hawk. And this card is from the Cherokee. Okay, so if anyone is Cherokee, this is definitely for you specifically, but it is Cherokee. So this card, I love reading them. So I'm going to read it for you guys. A divine message is here for you now. So be open to signs from the universe. You are more spiritually mature than you may realize. So this is what I was talking about. Like, the eclipse season upgraded your maturity spiritually. And now you guys are noticing a big shift. And this is like, you might not feel ready because you're like in that transition, but Spirit's saying, yeah, go for it. So this is confirmation. You have an ability to share wisdom and honesty with your people. If you are still searching for a soul tribe, trust yourself. You will recognize them instantly when you meet them. Even if it's outside of them that seems you are a little bit different or they're a little bit different, you might not notice at first. You are seeing things clearly, so trust in your vision and your patience. Speak your truth, but do so with compassion, from the heart, not from the head, heart, ego, okay? Because your words have greater influence than you realize. When the moment is right, take action, and will be shown for you to manifest your spiritual light in the practical ways. So this card is really coming into the message here of maturity, genuine power, heart-centered power. For those of you in leadership, you're getting this new wave of like heart-driven power. And people are seeing that, like it's oozing out of you. And it's something that you've never felt before. For some of you, you're changing your space holding completely, for those who are space holders. And for those of you who are in leadership or shifting your career, you're changing completely. And now the spiritual maturity is going to support you. And for those of you who are staying in the same position, you're just going to have that intertwine in your reality in the 3D world. So acknowledge this big growth that you've had and the support the Spirit's giving you, because you've now like kind of upgraded essentially. We've all upgraded, but there's like this like sense of like, I don't know. It feels like a vintage like aura. I don't even know how to explain it. Spirit's like showing me this like kind of like, ooh, like, okay, we're doing the thing. We're getting the thing. Sorry, I thought I saw someone there. So yeah, there's this sense of that. And you are going to see that in the next 6 months. You're going to see the proof in the 3D world that I have this spiritual integrity, devotion. That's the word I just heard, is you're getting more integral with your work. For some of you, you know, you're really just getting a humbling moment. And Taurus is like showing you what happens when you humble yourself and you come from the heart space, and how powerful emotions can be when you can anchor them instead of suppress them and push them and work a lot and not feel. Numbing just makes you sick at the end of the day and feels pain. So like, what is life being peaceful? What can life be in a peaceful, pleasurable way? Taurus is teaching you this in this new moon. It's teaching you like, what could it be like if I'm not always numbing in my experiences, thinking or preparing for the worst, or blaming or feeling in that victimhood. It's like, we're done that. That was like last era. Now we're shifting to a new cycle, and this is where the spiritual maturity comes in. The next thing you need to know about this Taurus new moon on May 19th, 2023 is that you are trying to forgive is blocking the peace and acceptance. So this is a big reminder recently, even for myself, the past month in my integration and this huge shift that I had with my teacher the past month I've been in Bali. And the thing that came up was like, a lot of people, and you even see this with teachers, and again, like, I'm just going to say it because it's the truth. People are always like, forgive, forgive, forgive. And you guys know I am a very, very big supporter of the Ho'oponopono. However, I do feel like acceptance has to come before forgiveness. Forgiveness can only be done when it is fully heart-centered. When we force to forgive someone that we genuinely cannot, it's almost like when people are like, well, I have to be grateful because I have this and I have this in my life. And, you know, this is going to be a very uncommon, like, thing that I'm going to say, but it's true. You know, people who are privileged, you know, one of the biggest things for me, I remember my parents would say, well, you have food on the table, so you should be happy. And it's like, well, these might not be my needs. That might not be my peace. That might not be my voice of needs, you know? So it's like this assumption, and this is why Spirit's giving you this spiritual maturity, this assumption of like how you see other people spiritually compared to you. And that comparison, it's like that's been completely humbled the ish out for you. But it's also understanding that acceptance comes from a place of, you're not trying to alter anything. You're not trying to judge anything. You're not trying to improve anything. Instead, you're just witnessing it and taking it in as it is, right? So it's like when you are meeting those parts of you that you have healed before, that you have worked with, that you have been tapping into, how much of your soul is trying to alter it and trying to say that I need to do the next thing. Or a conversation I had with my Earth Dharma students was like this aspect of like a lot of people, especially in the space holding community, being like, I need to get the next certification, even though I was in a month of a training. By the end of it, when I got the certification, I didn't even care. I was like, I don't even need this. Honestly, I don't even need this certificate, because that's not what I came here for. My intention for going into this journey was for myself and my own healing. And it should be that way. But a lot of the times we have a malice intent. We have this underlying intent that could be so subconscious we aren't aware of it. And again, we're not shaming. I'm just sharing this in the sense of truth, right? And if something's triggering as I'm talking about this is good. We're healing. So it's understanding that we can accept things. We can accept that that person harmed us. You know, when we can get to that place, we're in a loving space. We're like, okay, they harmed us because they were harmed. They were hurt too, right? And sometimes that takes years. You know, if that was for 9 years ago, if someone were telling me that I'm going to accept the people who were harmful to me and the people who put the most trauma on me, I would laugh at their face and be like, bah. I would want to fight. But then now I'm just like, no, it makes, like, I can come from a space of love now because I know what that feels like. And I know what it feels like to feel my own heart for myself. So when we can come to acceptance, we're giving and granting ourselves permission in all parts of our being to peace. And Taurus is about the moment that you accept whatever part of you that you are going against, you're swimming against. You are bringing safety automatically. You are giving your roots in your root chakra permission to hold on to the earth and to trust the feminine again. That was a deep one. To trust the feminine again. Where have you lost trust in the feminine? Taurus New Moon's about creating new habits, new perspectives, of learning to trust the feminine again, to accept the feminine within you. When you can do that, all is anchored and all is healed. But it's up to you. Let that sink in. Whew, that was a big one. So again, Taurus New Moon's about asking yourself, how can I accept where I am in my journey? How can I accept where I am in this process? How can I accept this story, this path? Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is work on singing, chanting, and sounding. So this is a great time to write a poem, to do spoken word. That's been a big gift that's been coming back to me from my younger self. Spoken word and poetry, chanting, sounding. How do you like to create through your voice? And if there's a part of you judging right now, being like, I'm not a singer, I'm not a writer, I'm not a poet. Okay, what if that didn't exist? What would that look like for you? How can you find peace in the strength and the power of your voice? When you can do that, you are giving yourself permission to channel your own power within. As I said that, 3 cards came out. Guys, this is beautiful. Oh my God, I love these cards. Mayu, Samo, from the Gallic heart. How beautiful is this? The galactic heart. This is just really, I'm going to read them each because they're so beautiful. Abuela Medicina, remedy of grandmother. Can I just say how crazy this is? Because I'm about to go to a medicine ceremony and this card came out. So I'll receive that for myself too. And Intikana, which is child of light. Okay. So I'm going to read the cards just quickly for you guys. So we have 36 for Mayu. And 36 here. Mayu. This card's so beautiful. I love this card for you guys. So your soul has been going through a deep spiritual feeding process and is growing rapidly. The evidence of this is the outer world will be a sense of expanded opportunity, reach connection, and spiritual experience. This oracle foretells that the welcoming of a new phase in life, newborn energies, and fertility, whether biological, creative, or psychological, are being stimulated. The oracle indicates the discovery, development, and expression of talents and can help you fulfill the divine life mission, provided that you keep your inner connection to spirit as a highest priority. The oracle speaks of the soul healing around matters of trust, spirit, mother, and abundance. Okay, feminine energy again. I'm just saying. So we got to focus on this. Abuela Medicina, beautiful grandmother medicine. We love you. 23, so that's 5 together, which is change, and then we have 2, 3. So this card says, you are on a healing journey. Put your trust in genius spirit, the medicine of the earth through which divine healing can express itself. So this is where I'm saying again, integration is majority of the healing. You went through eclipse, okay, now it's over. Now you're like, yes, thank goodness. The real healing happens. This is where you start to integrate all the medicine. As you allow your spiritual connection to guide your earthly steps and synchronicity and divine intervention, you will be supported through a healing journey that will be profound for you. This oracle indicates a healing outcome that will enhance your soul journey. Your soul has healing gifts, and you are meant to fully participate in the exploration of healing that is of interest to you. You are meant to understand how it is that you are a healer in your unique way, whether it is professionally or how you are in a person in the world more generally as a part of the life of journey. I'm going to take out healer off the pedestal because I believe every single one of us are healers because we have the capacity to heal ourselves at the end of the day. I always tell any of my clients, you're healing yourself. I'm just helping you with the tools, passing you the tools as you do the surgery. So the biggest thing here that this medicine is telling you is that we are all healers. We are all connected in this collective. And it's all about when we can claim our boundaries and our peace and our safety and unlock those those spaces through integration, we are then giving everyone else who is connected to us a permission to do so if they choose to. So you are becoming a healer to the collective once you do that. And I really hope that you can take that away. That every single one of you watching this, if you can do those following things with this healing and focus on the moon and really focusing on, integrating the eclipse season, that you're actually helping so many people that you don't even know you're connected to. Then we have the Intikana, which is Child of Light. And this is number 33. Threes, we love you. Any threes, people that you're seeing, this is for you. So this card says, trust your feelings over appearance. Move away from influences that create negativity or doubt in you. Reach out for your uplifts of your heart. So this was Mayu, the heart card that I showed you as well. Spiritual protection is being offered. Refuse to be dazzled by the ego and the masquerading as something spiritual. This is why I was talking about materialistic things, going outside of yourself, focusing on bypassing, constantly doing shadow work because you just want to keep fixing yourself. There's no fixing. It's just acceptance. Through your prayers and efforts, spiritual light has been accumulating the inner planes. Even though you may not sense consciously as of yet, there will be an interaction of the events and circumstances in your physical world through the light that shall pour forth to manifest itself as grace. Continue with your spiritual devotion. There is something truly good that is coming for you. So everything I just said, I always say the cards are just visual. Devotion, devoting to that integration, to yourself, to that stillness. Again, I'm not saying for this moon is supposed to be a time of like deep healing like we did. We did so much during the eclipse season. It's like a time of breath. It's a time of rest. It's a time of rejuvenation. It's a time of just like taking everything we learned and taking it into practice. Now, how am I going to devote to that medicine, to that healing, to those cord cuttings, right? And Spirit's going to test you. I'm not going to lie, like 3 days before the day of and 3 days after for this Taurus New Moon that's happening on May 19th, 2023, Spirit's going to test you. If they didn't test you, if you didn't test yourself, actually, how would you know if you're able to drive the car? So it's like, we did all the things, but like the certificate doesn't matter. The medicine ceremony doesn't matter. The meditation doesn't matter unless you take what you received, that message, and you trust it and you run with it. And that is what Spirit's telling you. Then you will know deep in your soul when you need to act on that energy and when you need to act on the medicine that you're receiving here. Okay? So I feel like the cards are saying that's it that we have here. I hope that this Taurus New Moon meditation supported you. Let me double check with the cards, but I'm pretty sure that's it. If you haven't gotten yourself, sorry, I'm looking for my cards. If you haven't gotten yourself a Lunar Planner, please get one. It's only $22 and it will support you for this Taurus season, the whole year, 12 months. And don't worry, I know we're a few months into the year, but honestly, you can go back to some of the prompts, and I think this is super helpful, where there might be themes connected to this time, and you can do those prompts from those months before. Okay, so I highly, 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 highly suggest that to support you even more. And you can still do the eclipse whole survival package that's in the Lunar Planner as well to help prepare you for this Taurus New Moon too. And lastly, medicine retreats, community support, healing, deep healing. We're not talking about love and light only. We're talking about the root of all things. Your life is going to change. I'm not saying this lightly. This is some deep ancient codes and practices that I'll be sharing with you guys during the retreat. We have the Goddess Retreat in Portugal starting on August 14th, 2023. You can apply down below. Spots are very limited and I'm closing it this May. So please apply as soon as possible. This is one of my, like, I can't say all my retreats are my favorite, but this one is really powerful and potent. And yeah, it's really big. So apply, and if I feel like you're a good fit, I will reach out to you for the next steps. And lastly is the Ancestral Retreat in November. And add yourself to the email list because there's a lot of other things coming up. Huge channel things if you're interested in working with me. But for now, like that's the best way to go deeper is honestly those retreats. If you're a space holder, I would even suggest it. I make it a priority for me to go to retreats and be held every single year at least once. And if you're not, you got to do that, especially if you're space holding space. I'm not even speaking. Time to end the video. Okay, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bell so you do not miss a video. Share it with a friend. One friend makes a difference. And let me know what resonated and how you're feeling. And also, guys, put a rainbow emoji and let me know of some creative ideas. Two things: creative ideas that you guys would think would be cool for this channel or ways to record it. And second of all, for you guys to share with me a nickname for you guys. I want a nickname. I'm not sure what to call you guys. Like I always say beautiful souls, but let's get a nickname because I feel like that'd be cool. So fam, you guys could probably hear that. Let's get a nickname. Okay, I love you. Happy Taurus New Moon, and I will see you guys in the next video, and I will post an energy healing meditation for you guys soon.